Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Next on HIKI NŌ, stories from across the island chain.
Scientists implant tracking devices in sharks to study their movements through Hawaiian waters.
Plus a perfect storm of traffic and parking congestion around Laniakea Beach on Oahu's north shore.
Also the traditional Hawaiian art of preparing lauhala leaves for weaving.
Find out how traveling the world inspired owners of a Kailua chocolate factory.
Learn 5 easy ways to lead a greener lifestyle.
Learn everything there is to know on a GPS craze known as geocaching.
See how technology has led to a new 21st century approach to DJing.
And meet a student with a life-threatening allergy to a substance that is in countless products we use every day.
All in this episode of HIKI NŌ, hosted by students from Damien Memorial School, home of the Monarchs.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI NŌ
Can do!
Our first story takes us to the island of Maui, where students at Seabury Hall Upper School show us how scientists are tagging sharks in order to better understand their behavior.
The island of Maui is known for its world-renowned beaches and attracts millions of tourists annually. But in 2013, there was an unprecedented spike in shark attacks around the island, causing some ocean-goers to wonder about their security in the water. With funding from the Department of Land and Natural Resources, the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology Shark Research Group, led by Dr. Kim Holland and Dr. Carl Meyer, has been tracking the movements and action patterns of sharks around the state since 1991. But with the recent spike, the group turned their focus to tiger sharks on Maui. Mark Royer is a spokesperson for the team.
So use various tagging technologies to study the movement behavior and gain a broader understanding of the ecological role of sharks and other marine top predators.
Shark tagging is the process of catching sharks and implanting tracking devices within their body with the intent to record data about the shark's life and movement patterns. Sharks are caught using a baited longline with 15 hooks that sit on the bottom. The lines settle for 3 hours to give enough time for the shark to come to the hooks and take the bait.
So typically when we catch a shark, we pull it up next to the boat. We get a rope around its tail, and we tie the tail rope to the stern of the boat. The line with the hook in it, in the shark's mouth, is tied to the bow of the boat.
The shark is rolled belly up, which induces a sleep-like state called tonic immobility. The researchers can then tag the shark. The acoustic tag is surgically implanted. Then, the shark is turned on its side, and the satellite tag is attached to the dorsal fin. An ID tag with a 4-digit serial number and the group's contact information is attached in case the shark is found by a fisherman or anyone else, or if the team catches it themselves.
The hook is then removed from the shark, the tail rope is removed, and the shark then swims off. So our efforts are updated on the PACI's website that has the latest tracking information on tiger sharks that we've tagged off of Maui and Oahu. So the latest detections will be shown on a map. You can also click on an individual shark and it will show you the movement data of that shark ever since it was first tagged.
As humans study sharks, we gain a further understanding of the species, as well as the knowledge to make informed decisions. This is Kaylin Burney for Seabury Hall Upper School for HIKI NŌ.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, like us at facebook.com/HIKI NŌ Can Do, or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI NŌ Can Do.
We take you now to the north shore of Oahu, where students at Waialua High and Intermediate School show how their community is trying to solve a major congestion problem near a popular beach park.
Residents of the North Shore community are frustrated with and concerned about traffic congestion, pedestrian safety, and beach access at Laniakea Beach due to an increase in people visiting the beach to see green sea turtles. Members of the community have been voicing concerns over these issues to the Hawaii Department of Transportation. Many feel not enough has been done to resolve these issues. In January 2012, volunteers representing a cross-section of North Shore residents formed the Laniakea Task Force.
I have to drive through this traffic all the time. After getting stuck in it probably a couple hundred times, I just decided that something had to be done about it, and I know everyone wanted it fixed and nothing was happening, so I started a group of people trying to put a little bit of pressure on lawmakers and Department of Transportation officials.
In December 2013, the DOT placed barriers on the Mauka side of Kamehameha Highway in an attempt to discourage parking and relieve congestion, even though the community voted against the move during a meeting organized by State Representative Richard Fale. The barriers have actually made the problem worse, as people now park before or after the barriers and continue to run across the highway to Laniakea Beach. In another project that might create more congestion, the DOT has received federal funding to study coastal erosion at Laniakea Beach. They are working with the community through the Laniakea Task Force to develop a realignment plan for Kamehameha Highway to combat erosion.
The purpose of the project is to take care of the beach erosion along the Kamehameha Highway along the North Shore. The effort of the task force is to get the community input on the realignment project. And hopefully by getting a lot of input from a wide cross-section of our task force, so we can move forward into the design and construction of the project.
This year in the legislature, a bill was introduced, Senate Bill 3035, which proposes to fund the beginning stages of the realignment of the Kamehameha Highway here. Moving the highway is necessary because it's the only transportation artery for people who live on the North Shore, and that's why we're doing this this year.
North Shore resident Bill Quinlan, in collaboration with the South Pacific Design Group, is presenting an alternative realignment plan which has gained support and momentum in the community.
There's a little bit of a conflict between what the DOT are looking at and what this community needs. We need to remember that the DOT are really mainly worried about erosion. That's what the money from the federal government is for, is from erosion. But we have other issues. We have the parking issue, we have the traffic issue, we have the safety issue with tourists running across the road. So if they would just do what we're saying, it would be cheaper, it would be quicker, it would solve the safety problems, and that's what we should do.
Presently, the DOT and Laniakea Task Force have not agreed on the realignment plan for Kamehameha Highway that will address the issues of traffic congestion, safety, and erosion at Laniakea Beach. This is Ku'ule Quintal from Waialua High and Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
Our next story comes to us from East Maui, where students at Hana K-12 School show us the traditional way of prepping lauhala leaves for weaving.
The lauhala plant has been a part of Hawaiian history for many years. Hana is known to have one of the largest lauhala groves in the state. Many of our Hana kupuna were skilled in the craft of weaving lauhala. It is a valuable resource that can make very beautiful functional items like bags, purses, bracelets, earrings, fans, mats, and much more. Today we will be demonstrating how to pick and prepare the lauhala leaf. Even though it is a difficult process, we are hoping that more of the younger generations will be interested in learning this craft. First, you must gather your supplies. Some of the supplies you may need would be a rag, a small bucket of water, scissors, string, and a pipe with a slit in it. After gathering your materials, you must find a lauhala tree to pick your lauhala leaves. The leaves on the lauhala tree have to be appropriate for the project you are doing. Make sure the leaves you choose do not have any holes, rips, stains, or bug bites. Next, cut off the head and tip of the leaf. With the scissors, make a slit on the thick end of the leaf about an inch down on both ends of the leaf lengthwise to begin to take off the thorns. With a wet rag, slide your thumb down the edge of the leaf to take off the thorns. Wipe down the whole leaf on both sides with a wet rag. Slide the thin side of the leaf through the slits in the pipe. Wrap the leaf around the pipe from one end to the other end. Repeat that process the other way around. Wipe down the leaf again and wrap all of your leaves together into kuka'a. The leaves should be stored in a safe place away from direct sunlight or wet areas. Now it is ready to be stripped and woven into a beautiful work of art. This is David Wishman from Hana K-12 School for HIKI NŌ.
We take you now to the windward side of Oahu, where students from Kalaheo High School profile 2 young entrepreneurs who apply what they learned traveling the world to their business here in Hawaii.
Kalaheo alumni Tamara Armstrong and Dylan Butterball of Manoa Chocolates have successfully melted together their world travel experiences with their bean-to-bar business.
While I was at UH, I made it a priority to study abroad in South America. And I think because I was able to sort of take the time to enjoy seeing new countries, that I was sort of had it out of my system, and I got to see the world a little bit to my satisfaction. I mean, there's so much more to see, but I definitely felt a lot more settled and excited to be present where I was and where I wanted to start my career.
Tamara started her career as a consultant on sustainability for an architecture firm, and Dylan brought her into his company, Manoa Chocolates. From their exposure to travel, Manoa Chocolate's concept of creating delectable treats using quality ingredients from around the world was born.
As far as traveling, I wanted to create more of a dream job. I wanted to be able to go to all these exotic countries that have really good surf and kind of double up and buy beans as well.
Dylan and I both speak Spanish. We use that in our dealings. He learned it from scratch, and we use it all the time. Dealing with different business opportunities, being comfortable in the world of trade, and that has changed him to be able to have a business where we're importing beans from all over the globe, having relationships with people from around the world.
Tamara and Dylan understand the impact travel has had on their lives and careers. They have put significant value in supporting the people and places they get their ingredients from, places as far away as the West African country of Liberia.
Which is a really neat story. We're buying beans from ex-child soldiers, so there was a lot of civil war there, and a lot of kids who are probably about my age now, no one would employ. They didn't have any skill sets, and they had a very rough past. So there was a guy over there who started taking all the ex-child soldiers and harvesting the abandoned cacao orchards from their Civil War, and then finding a market kind of like the market we're in, this American craft micro battery chocolate market.
Manoa in Hawaiian means thick, dense, and deep, and Tamara makes that comparison.
Having seen the world, it opens up conversations to be able to connect with people where you may not otherwise have connections, because maybe you visited their hometown or you know a little bit about their culture, and you can just go deeper and deeper. Even though you may not be in that same place, if you meet somewhere else, you can have a deeper connection with people.
The deep flavors in their chocolate bars range from the different regions around the earth.
Madagascar is known for really fruity chocolate. Dominican Republic is known for kind of a raspberry flavor. Hawaii has kind of a cherry flavored chocolate. West Africa, like Liberia, has just an earthy base chocolate flavor. It's kind of like wine. It's just like grapes and coffee and all that.
So when you think of Manoa Chocolates, don't drive to Manoa Valley because you won't find it there, but rather take a trip to the heart of Kailua town, then take the flight up the stairs to the second floor of Kailua Square. This is Caitlin Sabatine of Kalaheo High School reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Now, from Kapaa Middle School on the Garden Isle of Kauai, tips on how to go green.
Here are 5 tips for living green. Tip number 1. Having your own garden is a great way to be 100% sure you are not consuming any GMO products. Also, the harvest is much fresher and you get better produce. Tip number 2. You should have separate containers for different types of things that you can recycle. This would really help reduce trash in our island systems. Tip number 3. Minimizing car usage helps reduce pollution. It keeps our island healthy and our air fresh. You can always ride a bike or walk a reasonable distance. Tip number 4. When shopping at a farmer's market, you can ask the vendors how they grow their produce, when it was picked, and how to cook it. It does not leave a big carbon footprint. Tip number 5. By having your own composting system, you minimize the amount of waste going into landfills each year, and the soil from your compost makes healthy soil for your garden. Remember, living green is not only good for your planet, but also for your health and local community.
Our next story takes us to the Manoa district of Oahu, where students from Mid-Pacific Institute report on a GPS-based craze that has swept Hawaii and the world.
Geocaching is a fun, interactive sport where people hide treasures.
We get those coordinates, we take our GPS, and we go try to find it.
Some of them take you to places where you've never been before.
Explore the trails, explore what Hawaii has to offer. You know, anywhere. If you go on a trip, explore what that state has to offer, what that area has to offer.
Geocaching is a worldwide scavenger hunt activity that has 6 million active participants. You can get coordinates leading to a geocache on the geocaching website. These coordinates will lead you to a box that will have a trinket and a logbook inside. Geocaches can be placed anywhere from the simplest locations to the unknown beauties of the island.
Sometimes the people get very clever in hiding it. There are some geocaches that are off in the hills somewhere in the forest where you might spend an hour or more hiking before you even get close to look for it.
There's a few around here that are underwater, probably a dozen on the island. And so you have to kayak out to them and then dive down and disconnect them from a buoy maybe or something like that. That's really fun.
We got everything here. You know, you got ocean, you got mountains, you got your trails. It is fantastic.
Geocaching is a fun activity for family and friends, but is it safe? Dick Burson, a longtime geocacher, went into Princeville on Kauai for an easy geocache with some friends and family, but a simple mistake almost led to a tragedy.
And I stepped on what I thought was solid ground, but it wasn't. So I fell, probably about 30, 40 feet. I don't remember much, but I remember hitting my nose on the ground, and then my body flipped over. And in the process of flipping over, it stretched my neck.
Dick Burson's injuries were serious, so he had to be medevaced to a hospital.
The next morning, they did an MRI, said I had fractured 2 vertebrae.
There are some that are definitely in a little bit of scary spots and tough hikes like that, but whenever anybody puts a cache out like that, they will note that on the cache site.
On the geocaching website, you can see all the geocaches on the island or wherever you are, and with it comes the difficulty and terrain. You should be well aware of what the difficulty and terrain is before you go on a geocache.
There are places where you could see that it's dangerous. We just don't go there.
To have a fun and safe geocache, it's best to know helpful hints and tips from people like Dick.
If you're going out on a fairly serious hike, you should always have at least one buddy with you. Take your eyes off the GPS and watch where you're going.
I would just say to the new cacher, plug in the first cache, get out there, start exploring, start looking, and have fun.
Geocaching can help create memories of a lifetime with your friends and family. This is Bailey Ogawa from Mid-Pacific Institute for HIKI NŌ.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, like us at facebook.com/HIKI NŌ can do, or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI NŌ can do. And now, from Ewa Makai Middle School on Oahu, DJing with 21st century technology.
DJing, formerly known as disc jockeying, originally started in the 1930s but did not gain popularity until the 1940s. DJing is a music style that mixes music together for fun or parties. Many people enjoy DJing, including 13-year-old Dylan Quintero. In August of last year, Dylan had come across several music videos that made him realize how cool it was to blend songs together and make your own vocals. He then downloaded a DJ app and mixed outstanding songs from iTunes. DJing then became a part of his life. Today, Dylan Quintero will show us some of the basic steps to DJing. Step 1. Set up the cue tips for your song by selecting the various parts of the song you would like to use in your mix. If you have a digital turntable, this can be done electronically. Step 2. Start your first song on one side of your turntable, then start the next song you will mix in on the other side of your turntable. Step 3. Use faders to switch songs back and forth. Step 4. Use the EQ to adjust the song's audio settings. The EQ is made up of the song's lows, mediums, and highs and gain to change the song's audio to an even better song. Step 5. Scratch so that the two songs blend together and the song has a flow to it. Put it all together and you have a unique song made by you. This is Elian Durko from Ewa Makai Middle School, keeping the turntables rolling for HIKI NŌ.
Our final story takes us to the Valley Isle, where journalists at Maui High School show what a student with a latex allergy has to deal with every day in order to stay safe.
I'm normal. I can do a lot of things. My hobbies include stuff like playing ukulele, lots of animals involved. I love to paint and draw and all kinds of art, pretty much anything creative, that's me.
According to the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, 1 out of every 1,000 Americans is allergic to latex. Katie Jacinto is one of those people.
Well, sometimes I get hives, and sometimes I just get itchy, and sometimes my throat closes, and I can feel it tightening.
Latex is made of rubber material that is used in Band-Aids, duct tape, and many other common household and classroom supplies. Avoiding latex can be difficult.
It's always the fear of the unknown, and you can't predict. You don't know what's, there's 40,000 products that are latex within the environment, in schools, homes, just everywhere. So you never know when you're going to come into contact with that and what type of reaction, because each reaction is different.
To calm these fears, Katie tries to educate people.
The hardest part of my daily life is probably people not understanding it. They think I'm this ticking time bomb.
Even those closest to Katie have put her at risk.
Actually, a lot of my relatives do it, which is kind of bad, but they think it's nothing and they're like, oh, this is fine, that's fine. Just go and help your cousins blow up these balloons and you'll be fine, nothing's gonna happen.
Katie and her family have taken a proactive approach to educating people on how to help her avoid reactions.
We've been working with Maui High School and all the schools that she has gone to and making them aware of her latex allergy so that they can help us keep her in a safe environment.
Prior to attending Maui High School, Katie and her mother met with the administration.
The first thing we did was change our ordering practices to reflect and to help Katie when she came to school. We also sent out a flyer to all of our teachers so that they could talk to students to try to avoid latex.
It's not going to work in every single situation. I know that. Everybody knows that. Just people being aware, it helps a lot.
By raising awareness about her allergy, Katie is taking a huge step towards living a normal, latex-free life.
The reason why we should all be aware of it is that Katie is a part of our school community, and as a part of our school community, she should be able to participate fully in any of the activities that we have.
I kind of go through a lot of days just going, all right, I don't think this has any latex in it, but I guess we'll find out.
By taking a proactive approach, Katie minimizes her chances of getting a reaction as she progresses in life. This is Rachel Andrada from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
Well, we've come to the end of this episode of HIKI NŌ.
Remember, all of these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
We hope you've enjoyed watching them as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you.
Make sure to tune into next week's episode for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI NŌ can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you, mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.